Hello, hello, billionairettes. Hope you're having an amazing day so far. My name is Vanessa Black. I'm one of the owners and founders of Billionairette, and we're on a mission. Yes, we are on a mission to impact the lives of billions of incredible souls all over the world to achieve personal freedom as well as financial freedom in their lives. And we're going to do that by developing our minds, our bodies, and our souls on a daily basis. So, one of the things that we're doing, if you're new to this channel here, is we're reading two books every single month, one on personal freedom and one on financial freedom, and diving into them so that you can grasp the information, implement the action steps, study these books because they're absolutely life transforming. So I'm going to get right into it. Okay. We're on chapter 6, change your paradigm, change your life. If you missed any previous chapters, go ahead. You know what to do. We have a playlist of all the books. We have 20 books so far this year that are recorded and we're reading to you, Isabel and I. Isabel's taking over the financial freedom side of the books, reading to you, and I'm doing the personal freedom books and reading them to you with you. So let's dive right into it. I don't want to waste any more time. This book is absolutely phenomenal. Okay. And this chapter is chapter 6, the paradigm for power performance. Are you ready for power performance? I am. Let me now talk about ways to use this powerful mind of ours so as to form a paradigm for power performance. One of the primary qualities is a great attitude. That's a powerful line right there. Great attitude. You're taking notes on the book. It's a good line. If you have a notepad, paper, that's a good line. As I've said, my mentor, Earl Nightingale, called attitude the magic word. How does a person use the mind to develop a great attitude? What habits can you practice on a daily basis to reinforce it? I study continually. I have books on my desk. I have YouTube by Price Pritchett, Ask by Mark Victor Hansen and his wife Crystal. You Too Can Be Prosperous by Robert Russell, The Power of Awareness by Neville, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I've always got books on my desk. I have Thomas Troward's books in my book holder. If you're not into Troward's material, you may want to take a look at it. Earl Nightingale was reading Troward Edinburgh lectures on mental science when I visited him in 1968. I asked Earl, should I read this? He just looked at me and said, yes. It probably took me until 1970 to understand what I was reading. I'd read a page, but I didn't know what I had read. Anyway, it's phenomenal information. I keep my attitude right by studying constantly. The only way to improve is through study. There is no other way. You're trying to gain a greater understanding of who you are and your relationship with everything in the universe. Also, I am continually attempting to improve what we're doing in our company. I'm always wanting to raise our sales. I want to sell more. I'm working with the sales department about ideas in selling. I am always creating new programs. Right now, I'm creating a masterclass on You Were Born Rich, which I wrote in 1984. I started studying in 1961. So I'd been studying for 23 years before I wrote it. Its subjects are all great. Me and money, let go, let God, the law of vibration. It's been over 36 years since I wrote that book, but I can use the same subjects because I understand them much better and can go much deeper. Furthermore, you've got to have goals. You've got to be raising the bar for yourself all the time, being aware that your attitude is going to determine your success or failure. Then you're going to keep going in the right direction. Now, that line, simple, but so important, and I'm going to repeat it. What determines your success or failure? What is the one thing that he just mentioned? Your attitude is going to determine your success or failure. Page 89. Decision, visualization, discipline. Here are some basic, simple rules. If you follow them, you win. If you violate them, you lose. There are 3 things that a person absolutely must lock into if they really want to see a higher goal and go after it. 3 things. The first is decision. The second is understanding, visualization. And the third is discipline. So 1, decision. 2, visualization, understanding visualization. And 3 is discipline. That's how I keep my attitude right and keep things moving in the right direction for myself and the company. I've mentioned Neville more than once. Like many other people in the personal development industry, I've been inspired by him and his works. One thing that changed my attitude from negativity to positivity is repeating a question of his right before I go to bed. Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? This is the question. So Bob is saying one of the things that helped him change his attitude from negative to positive is repeating this question right before he goes to bed. This is the question, all right? You may want to write it down. You may want to highlight it. You may want to ask it. Now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? Are you grasping it? Now that my dream is fulfilled, like it's already fulfilled. I work on different questions, different dreams all the time, and the feeling is very important. It's not how you think about it, it's how you feel. We don't become what we think, but we do become what we feel. Because thinking is in the conscious mind, feeling is in the subconscious. That's the universal side of our personality. It involves visualization. You have to see it fulfilled. You've got to work from the end, not to it. When you've done that right, you're on the right track. It's only a matter of time until your goal manifests in form because you've already accomplished it in your intellect and your emotional mind. No one, of course, knows what the gestation period for an idea is. That's where faith comes in. I want to touch on some other aspects of a power performance paradigm. The first idea is to take responsibility for how you feel and act. Energy is flowing through you. Energy is flowing through us, and it's up to us to direct it in any way we want. So energy is flowing through us, and it's up to us to direct it in any way that we want. We could think of it this way. We are spiritual beings. We don't have a soul. We are a soul. Repeat after me. I am a soul. Spirit awaits direction from the soul. So I am soul. I am a soul. And spirit is awaiting my direction. I am a soul, and spirit is awaiting my direction. Say that 10 times. That's why we're told, ask and you shall be given. You have to build the image of where you want to go. Spirit is always flowing to and through us, and we've got to direct it. The soul is forever directing the energy that flows to and through it. It's up to us. God doesn't decide where we're going. We make those decisions. God does the work, but we decide. God does all the work through us. God, who is in every cell of our being, operates in a lawful, orderly manner. It takes our image and turns it over, and that's when it starts moving into form. The second principle is decide what you want and act as if you have it. So, what you want is already here. If not in one state, then in another. Most people don't understand that. They don't understand that nothing is created or destroyed. Everything is already here. That's why Wernher von Braun told President Kennedy that all was required to land a man on the moon was the will to do it. The ways and means to accomplish our goals are already here. We just have to get in touch with them. When you make a decision, the only prerequisite is, do you want it? Guys, this is some powerful stuff. It's deep. Operating on frequencies. You're operating on frequencies. Visualize a series of lines in front of you, like on a lined pad. Each line represents a level of vibration. Let me show you a pad right now. Perfect, because I have one right in front of me. Lined pad. Each line, he's saying here, each line represents a level of vibration or a frequency. If you put an R on a line toward the bottom of the pad and say, that R represents results, that's where you are right now. Now go way up on the pad towards the top, and over on the right-hand side, put a star. It's on a higher line, on a higher frequency. That's what you want. You've got to move yourself and your consciousness onto that line, onto that frequency, or you're never going to reach your goal. You've got to act like the person that you want to become. You've got to get on that frequency and live there. If you have a notepad, pause this video and let's do that. I'm going to actually repeat it, or don't, because I want to do it right now on this pad. So, want to help me out, Isabel? So, each line represents a level of vibration or frequency. So if you put an R on a line towards the bottom of the pad and say, quote, that R represents results, end quote. That's where you are right now. Now go way up on the pad towards the top, and over on the right-hand side, put a star. It's on a higher line, on a higher frequency. That's what you want. You've got to move yourself and your consciousness onto that line. You've got to move yourself and your consciousness onto that line, onto that frequency, and you're never going to reach your goal. You've got to act like the person you want to become. You've got to get on that frequency and live there. So if you're doing the exercise right now, thank you. This is the pad here. Okay, so he's saying all these lines are different frequencies. So this is X result, where we are right now, what you want, and a star. And these are all frequencies, all different levels of frequency. So we need to get on this frequency, this line. And how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Start acting. You've got to act like the person that you want to become. You've got to move yourself and your consciousness onto that line. So the question is, how do I move myself and my consciousness on to that line? You've got to act like the person you want to become. You've got to get on that frequency and live there. You got to live there. We got to live there. This is a great question to reflect. How can I live there right now? How can I start acting like the person that I want to become right now? That's the only way that your desired result is going to come to you. Most people just dream about their goals. They never reach them. You've got to act, again, like the person that you want to become. You've got to be it. That's why Goethe, the German philosopher, said, before you can do something, you first must be something. Be it. Your power life script. One technique I've discussed in my seminars is writing out a power life script in the present tense and recording it in your own voice. You write out how you want to live, everything that you want, in as much detail as you can. It's always in the present tense, and you're always being thankful for it. I'm so happy and grateful now that dot, 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 dot. You've got to take your mind to that place and you've got to live there, which is not an easy thing to do. You describe what you're thinking, what you're doing, how you're living. That's your life script. Your friends at work, your next door neighbor, your brother-in-law are going to say, who do you think you are? We don't like that, so we don't go there. We've got to get past what they think. If you don't see yourself already there, talk like it, walk like it, and act like it, you're never going to be there. If you don't see yourself already there, talking like it, walk like it, act like it, you're never going to be there. That's why the imagination is a magnificent tool. Imagination isn't something that kids play with. It's something that all wise people use to create the good on the level of the mind to start off with. We take ourselves to where we want to be and see ourselves already there. We walk like we're there. We talk like we're there. And we act like we're there because in our mind, we are there. That's what prayer is. Prayer is the movement that takes place between spirit and form, with and through us. All prayers are answered. Most people think praying is getting on your knees and talking. That's not praying. That's making noise on your knees. A minister once told me, praying is what most people do between prayers. If you think about it, you'll realize how accurate he was. Prayer is when you mentally go into what you desire in spirit. You get into the spirit of it. Then you let it go through to your whole being. That's when it becomes, or that's when it begins to move into form. Now, it's only a matter of time until your dream manifests in physical form, and other people will be able to see what you've been seeing for quite a while. That's so true. It's like whatever you're really thinking of now, even if it's a year from now, 5 years from now, eventually people are going to be able to witness it and see it in reality. But you've been thinking about it for 10, 15 years. You've been seeing that for 10 years now. Earl Nightingale said, this great dream, the surging dynamic thing invisible to all the world, except to the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advancement of mankind. That's one of my favorite quotes. I'm going to repeat it again. This great dream, the surging dynamic thing invisible to all the world, except to the person who holds it, is responsible for every great advance of mankind. Another valuable aspect of writing and recording a power life script is that many of us are used to having the chatter and self-talk of fear in our minds. It's trying to pull us back into the old paradigm, rehearsing our fears inside of our heads and hearing this as our voice. If you write out this present tense power life script in your own voice and you listen to yourself speak this reality over and over again, it re-scripts that inner voice toward what you want. It's powerful because you trust your own voice. It's got to get into your subconscious mind. That's what all great actors do. If you really want to get into the concept, get Stella Adler's book, The Art of Acting. Stella Adler was a great method acting teacher. Marlon Brando was her student and was the first student of method acting to hit superstardom. He wrote the foreword to that book. Actually, Stella Adler never wrote a book. She had lessons, and when she passed away, a man named Howard Kissel took them and put them in a book, The Art of Acting. It's magnificent. As William James said, act like the person that you want to become. Yul Brynner, I understand, played the role of the King of Siam and the King and I on stage 3,000 times. Every time, it was as if we were doing it for the first time. He understood how to get into the part. When George C. Scott was shooting the movie Patton, he became so much like General Patton that he scared some of Patton's friends who were on the set. George C. Scott was a great actor. All the great actors live their parts. That's what we've got to do. We've got to write the script and live the part. That's how it moves into form. That's such a good perspective that I haven't heard of being an actor. So literally, like, we're being an actor when we're doing this exercise or in a complete, like, all the time, like creating that script and then acting that script out. That's powerful. And that's how it moves into form. Page 95, your accountability partner. Another important idea in the paradigm for power performance is getting an accountability partner. We say we're going to do things, and when we say that, we'll probably believe it. But life frequently gets in the road, and we don't. Even when people say they're committed to a course of action, they still don't carry it out. When you make an irrevocable commitment and you have an accountability partner, you're accountable to that person. Pick an accountability partner whom you respect and whom you want to respect you. You say, "This I will do," and they hold you accountable for that. You don't want to let them down. You don't want to look bad in their eyes. The odds of you doing it have increased substantially. That's it. So he's talking about picking an accountability partner whom you respect and who you want to respect you. So this way, you don't want to look bad in their eyes, and you'll probably do the thing. I've already discussed the accountability methods used by Sandy Gallagher and me. Every morning I write out my sentences 3 times and I record them, and then I say them in the text. I don't want her to think that I'm not doing that because I want her to respect me, and I know she wants me to respect her. We use this approach with various projects we're involved in. We're just phenomenal partners. Sandy is very good at what I'm not good at, and I'm very good at what she's not good at. Recently, we're talking about a particular person in our company, and I said, that person's not aware of what they're not good at, and that's causing them a problem. You've got to be aware of what you're not good at. It's okay not to be good at it. As I pointed out, you don't have to be good at everything. There are some things I know I'm never going to be good at. I don't even want to try. I have somebody else doing those things. Instead, I take care of what I do and work to get better at it every day. Get better what you're good at, manage what you're not good at, and be accountable to someone. Get better what you're good at, manage what you're not good at, and be accountable to someone. Make sure that when you say you're going to do something, it's going to get done. Feel the vision. The next point is to hold the vision and feel it naturally. Through regular conditioning of your thoughts and scripts about your goals, what once feels unnatural eventually feels natural. You could relate this to driving a car. When I first started, I didn't think I'd even learn how to drive. My mother was teaching me. She yelled at me and I yelled back. She'd say, "Don't you yell at me, I'm your mother." At the same time, I was trying to figure out how to change gears, let the clutch out, and step on the brake at the right time. It felt very uncomfortable and scary. But later, you're not even thinking about driving. You're doing it all on a subconscious level. By repeatedly doing the thing you're uncomfortable with, you'll eventually start feeling comfortable with it. Say there's an X idea in your subconscious mind and a Y idea in your conscious mind. X is the programming, the paradigm. The Y idea is the new idea. Say, quit your job and start your own business, for example. You try to get emotionally involved with the Y idea, but the X is quickly going to kick it out. That's your paradigm. It'll cause you to feel very uncomfortable with the thought of quitting your job and starting your own business. Mortgage your business, mortgage your house, take all your savings, a scary idea. But if you keep playing with that Y idea and getting emotionally involved with it, pretty soon the Y idea becomes an X idea and you're comfortable with it. That's what we must do. We must keep getting emotionally involved in the idea that causes discomfort. And pretty soon it will become quite comfortable. That's when we've turned it into part of the paradigm. Y'all getting this? I love this. Comfort is not a good place to be. If you're really comfortable with everything in your life, you're stuck. You're going sideways. You're not growing at all. You've got to be doing something that causes a respectable amount of discomfort and keep doing it until you're comfortable with it. When you are, then set another target that causes discomfort. That discomfort indicates that you're growing. You're going where you've never been. Set a new standard, page 98. You also need to set a new standard. This is part of the self-esteem concept. I always attempt to emulate people that I really admire. I want to understand this material as well as Earl Nightingale understood it. I want to understand it as well as Thomas Troward understood it, as well as Neville understood it. I pick people who are giants in the industry and I attempt to emulate them. I don't want to copy these people. In his essay, Self-Reliance, Emerson said something brilliant. There is a time in every man's education when he arrives at the conviction that envy is ignorance, imitation is suicide, that he must take himself for better for worse as his portion. To envy another person is to look at them and say, I'm not aware that I have the power in me that they've got in them. They use that power to achieve the results they're getting. I don't know that I've got that, so I will envy them. I wish I had their results. I wish I was doing what they're doing. That's what envy is, ignorance. And imitation is suicide. There's no way you can be like anyone else. There is a beautiful poem by James T. Moore that I put it in the Born Rich book. And I'm going to read that. One and only you, every single blade of grass and every flake of snow is just a wee bit different. There's no two alike, you know. For something small like grains of sand to each gigantic star, all were made with this in mind, to be just what they are. How foolish then to imitate, how useless to pretend, since each of us come from a mind whose ideas never end. There will only be just one of me to show what I can do. And you should likewise feel very proud. There's only one of you. That is where it all starts, with you, a wonderful, unlimited human being. Self-discipline. The next point is to develop self-discipline. It's not that you're not disciplined. It's that you've never put a high enough priority on becoming disciplined. Give yourself a command to do what you're going to say. I think everybody's disciplined. Some people are disciplined regarding the wrong things. They do it regardless. Addicts are disciplined. They turn their desire into addiction. I see discipline as the ability to give ourselves a command and then follow it. This I will do. If I just did that, I'd get much better results. Discipline is a command you give to yourself that's going to improve everything that you do. I recently sent a text to a lady. She had started listening to a recording that I had made for her. She used it for a while and stopped, then started to use it again. I found out about it, so I sent her a text saying, "Congratulations, I understand you're using the recording again. The discipline that you will develop listening to this every day for the next 30 or 60 days is going to impact all other areas of your life." Use autosuggestion. Another valuable technique is to use autosuggestion in your daily practice. Autosuggestion is a suggestion from yourself to yourself. It's an idea that you originate in the conscious mind and turn over to the subconscious mind. We're involved in autosuggestion all the time. Every thought that we think and get emotionally involved with is a suggestion. It's like self-hypnosis. When somebody else is giving you a hypnotic suggestion, it's coming from somewhere else. You want to keep repeating the same concept to yourself over and over. Earl Nightingale once made a recording called "That's Good," describing a situation with his friend W. Clement Stone. W. Clement Stone started with nothing. By the end of his life, he was one of the wealthiest men in the world. Stone had formed the habit of saying, "That's good," It didn't matter what happened. He'd say, that's good. If you look for good in everything, you will find good in everything because there is good in everything. My dear friend Michael Beckwith once shared an idea that I love. He said, when anything happens, there's a 3-step approach to it. 1, look at it and say, it is what it is. Accept it. It's either going to control you or you're going to control it. There's your react respond dichotomy again. 2, harvest the good. There's good in everything. The more you look for it, the more you'll find. And 3, forgive all the rest. Forgive, let it go, completely abandon it. So 1, look at it and say, it is what it is, and accept it. 2, harvest the good. There's good in everything. And 3, forgive all the rest. Let it go, abandon it. So basically, accept and find the good and forget the rest. Eliminate procrastination. The next principle is eliminate procrastination, accelerate toward your goals. I think there's only one way to handle this. Everything has an opposite. The opposite to procrastination is decision. When people come to me and they tell me they've got a problem with procrastination, I tell them to find someone and have the 2 of you make a commitment that every day for 60 days that you will read the chapter on decision in Think and Grow Rich. It's the longest chapter in the book and it's incredible. When you're reading this chapter, the 2 of you don't have to be in the same city or the same place. You can phone each other. One of you starts reading, reads a few lines and says pass. The other person picks it up there, starts reading a few lines and says pass. Both of you have to be reading while the other person reads, or you won't know where to pick up. If you do that for 60 days, you will eliminate procrastination, which is simply a matter of not making a decision. That is not making a decision. And that concludes, ladies and gentlemen, billionairettes, beautiful souls, beautiful, I am a soul, and I direct my spirit. Okay. Chapter 7 is the next Read With Me session. It's called The Lessons of Gratitude in Freedom. Please let me know your thoughts on this chapter that we just dove into. We'd love to understand your thoughts, get your feedback. Super powerful, a lot of incredible things. Just absolutely phenomenal the way that Bob is breaking this down. Okay, remember the paper, the pad. To recap, these are all frequencies, all these lines. We're here. This is what you desire, your goals. In order to, we need to get on this frequency right here. We need to rise above. We need to start acting like the person that we want to become. Now, today. That life script, that script is so powerful. Writing down. I encourage you, go write down your life script. Very detailed, in present tense. Record it, listen to it. Most importantly, act like it today. Become the actor. Like become like the actor. I love that concept of you're acting and you're pulling it towards you. So I appreciate you, appreciate your time. So happy and grateful for today, for all the breakthroughs that are going to take place right now, that have taken place already, and all the goals and dreams that have been fulfilled. And super excited. So we'll see you in the next Read With Me session. If you got value out of this particular chapter, go ahead, share with somebody that you feel that will add value to you, that you feel someone that you know that has goals and they're looking to achieve their goals. Go send them this video. Make sure you're subscribed so you get notified for the next Read With Me sessions that are posting Monday through Friday. We're posting, both books on this particular channel. So we'll see you shortly. Have a beautiful rest of your day and God bless.